So we have Jason Baptiste, of course, here with us through
Hello?
Skype, Cloudomatic. Now, Jason, you recently co-founded Cloudomatic, but before this, you founded Ramamia. Is that how we say it?
So it's Ramamia actually.
Ramamia,
Going
Ramamia,
back,
Ramamia.
probably the best thing to bring up when it comes to past things. Ramamia was a little bit of a side project. Was Publictivity, which I did for about 2 years, which is a software as a service application for PR professionals. And a lot of the problems we see with Cloudomatic and why we started it came out of that. Things with distribution, with monetization, with, okay, now I've got this web app, so what do I do? More than the marketing, but you see people go to the Apple App Store platform, right? And they take care of things that we like to call it AdSense easy, where with Google you sign up for AdSense, you give them a bank account, and you're good. That's it. You can start going and making money. That's kind of how Apple is. So we saw those problems and rolled them in a Cloudomatic. Paul Graham also had a post recently called, I think it's organic problems. This was an organic problem that we saw.
Okay. And I also believe that for the first time today, you're going to be showing us Cloudomatic Start. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So to wind back a little bit again, we didn't go into it, but Gavin was part of the Startup Weekend team. We actually came out of Startup Weekend Miami a month ago.
Awesome.
Today with Cloudomatic. Frank, it was Frank who came down, ran the event with us. And actually I'm here with my co-founder, Andres.
How are you guys?
I don't know if he...
Hi.
There we go.
We're multiplying.
There we go. Yeah, no, he's been sitting next to me manning the chat room. That's why you've been seeing a lot of Latin America coming on in. And we did it in that weekend. Andres used to be with Groove Shark, and I had the idea for a while. Andres had liked it, and we put together the first version of Cloudomatic that weekend. But, another problem, this is another organic problem we had, was, there's all these web apps we were using as a team over Startup Weekend, 10 different web apps, right? How do we organize all those? Basically say to the team, people who are coding, helping us in Latin America, that's where a lot of our team is, okay, so what are we using for code repository? What are we using for docs? How do we put all of our company's web apps in one place? So we essentially built what was a hosted version of the Google Chrome start page or Firefox speed dial, so that if we go on another computer, all the apps are there. Or if we want to, somebody new joins the team, we just send them an invite and everything is just there ready to go. So that's what Cloudomatic Start is, and I'm going to give you guys a quick run through in a minute. I'm just sending the link over for the demo real quick.
Oh, okay. Is it start that? I think I got it up in the chat, or sorry, I'm on my screen right now.
Yeah, we'll get it set up over here. Can you make sure it's in the chat room?
No.
Yeah, let me send that in for you guys.
Sorry,
Well, while they're setting up, Jason, why don't you tell us, maybe 5 of the awesome web apps that Cloudomatic has featured that people might not have heard of?
Yeah, so we've got a list of 5 here. To give you background, we originally had like 80 a month ago, and now we're somewhere around, I would say 400. Things that we've never even heard of that are really cool that people are making on their own, 1 or 2 guys, or even larger companies that might be a little bit funded or whatnot. So the first one is Office Drop, and we'll give you a link for everything into the chat from Cloudomatic to the app. An Office Drop is kind of one of those interesting hybrid applications that's take, your web documents, not your web documents, your offline documents, actual physical paper, send it to them, and they scan it in, and they will put it on cloud hosting, or they'll actually, now they have a program where it goes to Google Docs. So all of a sudden you can take that paperwork, for example, if you're a doctor, and that'll go over to Google Docs. The second application is Reinvigorate, which is invite only now, I believe, but if you email them and tell them you're with This Week in Cloud Computing and Cloudomatic, they should get you one. It's real-time analytics, and it's what we use when we do product launches, or we know we're going to have a spike in traffic, and if we want to see, just what's going on. Literally if somebody hits the site, we see how many visitors, what pages they're on, and that gives us a good progression. It's different than Google Analytics, where you got to wait a little bit. The delay is less, but it works nicely. The third application is Beanstalk. And I've been using this for a while. They've been around for about 2 years now. I think even before GitHub. And their code repository, just online subversioning. They have Git, they have SVN. That's what I originally used it for. And it's just a beautiful interface. They've got subscription billing that makes sense for everybody. And it just works nicely. I mean, everybody's kind of got their own choices. Is it Assembler? Is it GitHub? We like Beanstalk. That's what we personally use.
Hey, Jason, let me just stop you there real quick, because I think if you go to my screen, I've got your main website up, so people can get sort of a sense of what this looks like. So this is your main website. I go to cloudomatic.com, and it's interesting. It does look like the iTunes App Store, except it's like a cloud app store is what it looks like to me, which I think is what you guys are going for.
Yeah, that's essentially it, right? Like, we believe the web is the platform. I mean, most of these apps, the interesting thing is they didn't exist 18 months ago. Besides the bigger guys like Basecamp or maybe Beanstalk was just getting started. These are new apps, so we're seeing this surge, and they want a central place to start selling their application, start promoting it, distributing it, and it's kind of, we talk about gaps between mobile and desktop apps and web apps, and we think this is one. Right now it's essentially very much a directory, but we plan on building in a lot of the monetization aspects to help developers make the money. Actually, if you navigate to a specific app, I can show you how it plays into Cloudomatic Start.
All right, I'm going to Wink Bill.
Okay.
Finance. So
yeah,
go to my screen. I'm on Wink Bill.
Choose that. Just wait. So if you click on Wink Bill, actually, it's cached. What's there? There's usually a button that we just added that says "I use this."
Oh, it's up there. It's up on my screen right now. So I'm mousing over it on my screen. You see it?
Oh, yes, I use this. I see it.
Oh, it is? Okay. I thought that would be visit site. My bad. Yeah, so click I use this.
Okay.
So you figure, you're somebody, I use this, I'm on the site,
Oh.
Nice.
And added it to my start. So now it threw me over to start.cloudomatic.com, which is what you guys wanted to show. That's what you're launching today.
Yeah, that's the new thing, right? So, it'll keep adding apps. If you go to the search box, search an app to add, let's say Wufoo is one of search.
How do you spell it?
W-U.
Oh, Wufoo. Oh, got it. So it's nice and, look at that.
And you just click it and it comes on in.
Oh, wow, immediately.
Yeah, so it's like makes a little like a little homepage for you.
Yeah, so it's basically, if you're familiar with Chrome, or even I think Safari has done it, these are all the apps you use. It's hard to customize it. In a lot of ways, it's not, I don't want to use the social term, but you think like IT deployment. You sit and pick, let's say you're the first person in the company or whoever's tasked with it. You pick the 5 to 10 apps you use. If you fill in that box where you can save the page with an email and a demo password, it lets you save it and then go in and customize the URLs. So you think things like Google Apps have, something like mail.google.com/a/cloudomatic.com. Things people usually don't want to remember, they don't want to type in. You can then associate that login URL, so you're just directly taken to, that application and its login screen. You should be there.
Right.
And this is just another kind of organic product. We call it. It's something we saw as a problem. Doing Startup Weekend, we were using like 5 to 10 different apps. People we were just starting to work with on this project, and we said, okay, what are all the apps we use? And we kind of used like a very, very early alpha version of this. And we said, okay, let's roll this out. From us, kind of, what are we going to use it for? It, it will let us kind of tell what apps are popular, what people are using, and also then target and suggest apps. We'll know, hey, you're not using a collaboration tool, specifically for this, or, you are, here's another one to suggest. It'll give us kind of detailed insights into what apps people are using.
Would it be fair to describe you guys as the iTunes of cloud apps?
Yes, that's exactly. People say, like, what's the catchy, like, buzzwordy elevator pitch? An app store for software as a service.
So you take a cut from. So a lot of these apps I'm seeing actually they cost money. There's some that are free, some that cost money, like the App Store. And I assume you take a cut off the ones that cost money. Is that correct?
Correct. So right now, and I guess this will give you a little bit idea what we're planning. If there's any developers, we'd like to talk to you about what your needs are. The bigger guys like Basecamp and I'm trying to think who else, like iContact, they have an affiliate program.
Right.
Which is great. We take a cut. That's good, and we're already ranking for a lot of search terms. That's decent traffic. But I would say 90% of these developers do not have an affiliate program because maybe they're small 2 to 3 shop guys, or even if they're well funded, that's just not in their plans, right? It's something that takes time to build, and commission junction is expensive. It's not built for subscription billing. So we hope to build, that's the next thing we'll be doing, the engine for that, so that A, we can monetize, and B, give somebody who develops a software as a service application a weekend, if it's a good application, a network of people to kind of quote unquote pimp it out on their blog or their site. Like This Week in Cloud Computing, you guys could embed 5 apps that you think are great and get a cut. And the good thing is, these guys have I don't want to say a lot of money, but the cost per acquisition that they can spend is pretty high. I think Ryan Atlas, I contacted an interviewer, is like $400 they'll spend because they know the lifetime value is like $2,400, so they can spend that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you said, I believe you said earlier, there's about 400 apps in your on Cloudomatic right now, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And now, if I'm a developer and I'm going, oh my God, this looks awesome. I wish I could. How do I get my app in your app store? How do I go about doing that? Is there an application process, or anyone's accepted?
So we make them wait about 30 days. Then maybe we'll give them a random rejection reason that made. We don't do that. It's simple. If you go to cloudomatic.com, there's a submit button on the top right. As soon as literally, if you submit an app now, I don't know if anybody's in there, it'll come up on my phone with a text message that hey, there's a new app.
There it is.
We'll go in, just make sure it's good. Put some of the information in. We take nice screenshots, or if a developer says, hey, here's some of the screenshots, we'll put it in. Usually, it happens very fast.
Yeah, so here, I'm actually, if you go to my screen real quick, so
go ahead.
So here's the submit app button you were just talking about. I click, there's my submit app form. It's that simple. Look at that.
Submit your app right there.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it now. Eventually we'll build a developer center so it's a little bit more intertwined, but it was kind of like the startup weekend mentality of, how can we get this so people can do it quick? And the way we got a lot of our first initial apps was through Hacker News, where I spent a lot of time, Y Combinator site. We said, hey, we're launching a product, essentially this software as a service app store. We need apps. We know some, but you guys have them out there. Plus, we'll help promote you with some of the press we get. And we had a Google Docs spreadsheet open as well that was edited in real time. There were 50 app developers editing in real time, putting in, I think we got from that
Google Docs.
It's actually fun. They do this a lot of the time on Hacker News. One was a co-founder search thing, right? So it's this real time, kind of Etherpad spreadsheet in Google Docs. And I'm curious to try it with the new real time updates they had. And you just have 50 people editing. And it's fun to watch just to see people doing this. So yeah, that's where we're at now. Somebody's like, oh, well, it's a directory. Well, yeah, that's what we could do, in a month. And then we put out the start page, and we're working on next kind of the more developer focused things. I was really actually happy to hear Gavin say Google AdSense is a very big thing for developers, because we want them to be able to develop a software as a service application, start distributing it and monetizing almost as fast as they could with AdSense, which is, here's a piece of JavaScript, give us your bank account number so we can give you money, we'll take a tiny bit to approve, and that's it. That's why iTunes works well, is give them, the bank account number to give you money, and iTunes Connect.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the merchant account, and you get paid. So that we're trying to build that piping.
This is pretty awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Good
Well
resource.
done.
And also, just to circle back as it relates to Startup Weekend, Gavin, you're obviously involved with Startup Weekend stuff, right? That's close to your heart a
Well,
bit.
Startup Weekend is great because you get to hack on something that's different from what you hack on all day long, and you get to do it with a bunch of other people that you don't spend time with all day long. And you maybe you'll do something great like Cloudomatic that becomes a real company. In my case, I've got a job. I got kids about to hit college, so I like to go. And just work on something new or work on a project that I'm trying to get going on the side, and it's a terrific experience. It may be frustrating and a smoking pile, but it's only the one weekend.
And isn't there one coming up here in LA?
There's one coming up not this weekend, but next weekend on the 30th to the 2nd at Coloft, which is just a few blocks from this very studio.
Wow.
So,
Co-op in Santa Monica.
Co-op
if
in
you
Santa
want to
Monica.
go to Startup Weekend LA.
It'll be fun.
Great. Is there anything that you want to add, Jason? Have we covered off the majority of it, or?
No, I think that's there, and you guys kind of hit the nail on the head with what we're aiming to be. I guess if there's any developers, in the crowd just with apps, even if they're thinking of kind of side projects, please send them to us. Personally, we love this stuff. I just love seeing like the apps we've never heard of, but we get you guys up fast. We want to work with you. So right now, it's all about developers. If you have an app that is software as a service, please send it to us because we want to put it on Cloudomatic.
You need to do that developers thing.
Yeah, I don't get like all sweaty. Maybe I'll throw like a chair or something. I'll go up.
Oh,